Just to start off, I just want to let you guys know this is completely unordered. I also have 3 categories. I have S tier. So S tier, I would say, is a character that I think without question could win a super major. It doesn't really matter about the bracket you have. You can realistically win with this character. A tier is a character that could still win a super major, but you definitely need to have considerably more bracket luck than you would for an S tier character. And for that reason, it's probably better if you have a secondary with that character, but it's not like a make or break type of thing. You could still, like I said, you could still win, but you just need bracket luck. And then B tier and lower, I don't think this character can win a super major by themselves. You definitely need a secondary if you're gonna use this character, in my opinion. So I guess that's pretty much it. Let's get into it. You know what? Let's talk about Mewtwo. Let's put him in an A tier. So this is a character that, like, for a long time I had been teetering between B and A tier because, you know, I feel like the big flaw Mewtwo has is the tail hurt box. But after just watching more Mewtwo gameplay and then just seeing what the character can do after the Shadow Ball buff, like the Shadow Ball buff was incredibly good. It was ridiculous. I think that put the character in A tier. Even with the tail hurt box and Mewtwo being light, I think this character's keep away game is just insane. It's really good. He has that. Mewtwo has good damage racking capabilities. The fact that Mewtwo can literally confirm into things out of Shadow Ball is ridiculous. He has a command grab that can combo into kills at certain percents. Confusion can combo into fair, in case you didn't know. Disable is also really good. And he has like a footstool out of shield option with it. Footstool out of shield disable is like incredibly hard to do, but it is there. Like if someone were to like optimize that, that's freaking frightening. Because you basically have a frame 4 out of shield option that can kill really early. I do think that if they take away the hurt box, Mewtwo might be top tier, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I think he's good. I think he's good. Another character I've been teetering between mid and A tier. So Richter, the Belmonts. For the longest time, I thought they were like at the peak of B tier, but now I'm starting to lean more towards A, and that's because, I mean, honestly, it's just from seeing what Dom does with the character. He's shown me that a lot of the flaws that, yeah, his flaws aren't that bad. Obviously, they're still pretty bad, especially depending on the matchup. But I think where Richter really shines is that he annihilates some characters. Like, there are certain matchups where it's really hard for this character to do anything about it, and that's kind of how the character is. He has a lot of matchups where he just destroys characters, and obviously he has some matchups where he gets destroyed, but I don't think it's as bad as we initially thought, at least not yet. Let's get this out of the way. Pichu. Yeah, this character at the beginning of the game was really good, but got nerfed pretty hard. Not hard enough for me to put him into B, but still hard enough, because before I would say Pichu was definitely an S tier, but people figuring out how to play the character or play against the character combined with the nerfs he got, like the F tilt nerf was huge. Basically, Pichu is one of those characters that if you camp him, it's hard for him to do much about it, because Pichu does have T-jolts, but he hurts himself when he does it, and on top of that, Pichu's the lightest character in the game, so that's just a recipe for disaster. Pichu giving himself like 5 to 10% may not seem like much, but that's like a huge chunk of that character's life, especially if you consider the fact that some characters have like really good kill confirms. So it's like, okay, like Pichu pretty much took care of like racking up damage on himself for you. But yeah, he has some really good traits. Thunder is really strong, pretty solid recovery, good damage racking capabilities. But again, it's like he has all those things, but he's also hurting himself in certain situations. So it's just a double-edged sword. Get rid of the Shotos. That, put him there. Where's Ryu? I'm just gonna combine them. I don't think that they're like I'm not saying that they're the same character, but I think they're in the same tier. And I'm kind of just gonna treat them the same because it's just lazy. I don't know. I don't want to like differentiate them that much when they're like that close together, in my opinion. Both have pretty good kill power. Focus is a really good option for getting out of juggles or even counterattacking the opponent. I think where these two struggle is just against characters that can fight them in a position where they can't get in on them, which there's like quite a few characters that can do it, but I don't think they could do it well enough to where like I would put them in B tier, like where it feels impossible for them to get out of certain spots, especially because they have focus attack, which it helps them land a lot. If Ryu and Ken didn't have focus attack, I would probably put them in B tier because they would just get juggled for free, and they just would never be able to land, in my opinion. Be literally the same as the heavies. Put Bowser, speaking of heavies. He's a lot better than the other big body characters. So like, you know, K-Rool, DDD, DK, he's like noticeably better than them for a couple of reasons. The first one is that he has a really good out shield option. He has a frame 6 up B, which hits on both sides. So he has an answer that most of the other heavies don't have, where they're getting constantly pressured. He has a way to get out of that. Flame Breath is really good. I'm surprised Flame Breath has never gotten nerfed, if I'm being honest. That move is kind of ridiculous. Does a lot of damage. In a lot of situations, it shield pokes. 2 frames hits below the edge. It's kind of nuts that it has not gotten touched. The other thing too that's scary about Bowser. So I talked about how like a lot of the heavies don't have like good kill setups. I don't think Bowser really has strong kill setups, but he just kills you early. Like a lot of his raw hits just kill stupidly early regardless. So even if he doesn't have like the kill setup capability that like other good characters has, he doesn't need it because he just kills. Like all of his moves just kill regardless, which is scary. He also just racks up damage like pretty easily from like stray hits. That being said, he still has the flaw of being juggled. He still gets comboed easily, even though his strengths are I think are like a bit better than the other heavies. He still has that flaw that prevents him from being higher. I'm gonna do this too. I'm just gonna put all the links in here. I think all the links are A tier. I don't think they're like close together. Honestly, if I were to say if there was like a better link between the three, at the moment I think it's regular Link, believe it or not. I could definitely see that being Young Link as well, but this is how I feel at the moment. They're all good characters. Young Link definitely more annoying in the zoning aspect because of fire arrows, good mobility, boomerang. I don't even know what to say about Young Link. He's just kind of there. He's the Link that no one really uses because I think he's the worst of the three. And then there's regular Link who has like his bomb honestly is what makes me think he's better than the other Links, because there's certain situations where Young Link and Toon Link, they just get annihilated off stage, and because regular Link has the bomb recovery, he can avoid those situations more easily than the other two can. On top of the fact he has good kill power and a really good nair. But yeah, I think the thing that's holding, I think the big thing that's holding Young Link and Toon Link back is honestly just the recovery. And then I also don't think I don't think they can rack up like crazy heavy damage consistently compared to other good characters, or have like crazy strong kill setups. Like I feel like with Young Link, he does have a lot of kill setups, but I also think that his kill setups heavily depend on the opponent DIing his confirms wrong. Like fire arrow into like up air, down air normally doesn't work if the opponent DIs away. Same thing with like down tilt stuff. Normally doesn't work if the opponent DIs away. I think the only thing he has that's like really consistent is like bomb into something, but I don't think his kill setups are that strong, if that makes any sense. Yeah, that's how I feel about Young Link and Toon Link. So for regular Link, it's kind of the same thing where he doesn't have like crazy damage racking capabilities. He does hit harder though, which is why I think it doesn't matter as much with him. But I still do think that he could definitely stand to like do more or rack up more damage in certain situations compared to like other good characters. The other thing is that against certain characters, Link is more susceptible to getting juggled compared to Young Link and Toon Link because of his air speed and stuff like that. Like there's certain matchups where you can't just nair out of out of his problems. But yeah, that's what I have to say about the Links. Let's talk about this character, because a lot of people think this character is horrendous, and I think he's underdeveloped. I think that's like the best way to explain Marth. Underdeveloped character that no one uses, because honestly there's no reason to use him. Like, you have Lucina. That's the best way to think about Marth. He is the character that is incredibly underdeveloped, and a lot of people know he is, but a lot of people just don't care, because what's the point of developing his meta when there's Lucina, who is just better and easier? Oh, let's do him. Olimar. Olimar, I think, before he got nerfed, was S tier for sure. I honestly think the problem with Olimar is it's his way combined with his mobility, and I don't think he has like strong options to get the opponent off of him once they get in on him. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, but certain characters. He's like a walling character. Like, he is a strong walling character, and if he fights matchups where he can't wall effectively, he just gets destroyed. And I think there are a lot of characters that he just cannot effectively wall because they have better options to get in on him than he does to keep them out. But yeah, I do think the nerfs he got hurt him a lot, but not enough to where he would just be completely unviable. Let's do Terry. I think he's A tier. It's interesting because he doesn't have the focus, but I think he's still pretty difficult to juggle. Like, I think he has really good options to just, I won't say really good, but he has some solid options to get away from the opponent. Like, Power Dunk could be really good. Power Dunk's actually frightening in certain spots because you can auto cancel it, and if you don't know you can auto cancel Power Dunk, it'll blow you up. It's auto cancel Power Dunk, it's stupid safe on shield. But he has that. He has like some pretty solid damage raking capabilities. He has some kill confirms. Obviously he has the go, which can kill incredibly early. But I think what holds him back from being S tier is against really good characters, it could be hard for him to land. It'll also be hard for him to recover. So those are like the big problems for him. And then there are also some characters to where they can just kill him before he can actually abuse go, which, you know, that sucks for him because it's like his whole thing. Let's do Ness. I think this is the best iteration of Ness, but I still don't think he's top tier. I still think he has the same issue he's had in every single game, and that's his recovery. Although what I will say is that they made his recovery much harder to edgeguard in this game because of his directional air dodge. Like, he has the directional air dodge, the PK Thunder, you can't just stop like when it first comes out because it's the head hitbox isn't active yet, so you can't just stop it when he just first comes out. Yo-Yo's also like incredibly annoying when he's edge guarding. He has really good kill power. Back throw is insanely strong. I guess something else to bring up as well is that in certain spots, Ness can struggle against disjoints, and there are a lot of sword characters, so there are a lot of characters that can just cleanly beat out his forward air and like some of his other moves. So that could be hard for him. Like, he could struggle neutral for that from that aspect. Pit and Dark Pit, and you got A tier. I think they're a little underrated at the moment because I actually do think that Pit and Dark Pit could potentially be S tier if their meta's developed more. But yeah, at the moment, I would put them in A tier. They're just good. They have like pretty solid damage racking capabilities now because the down tilt buff they got. So they have down tilt follow-ups. Nair can be comboed out of. They have a kill confirm with their up tilt. Down special can be pretty effective at edge guarding some characters. They can also use their down special to land. Good at edge guarding with arrows. Yeah, I'm not gonna like talk too much about them, but I think they're just like a very solid character that I could see their meta developing a bit more. Chrom, I definitely heavily considered putting him in S because spoilers. I think Roy's in S tier. The only reason why I don't have Chrom in S tier is because I think his recovery just holds him back like greatly. There are just certain matchups where the character can make it very easy for him to easily force him into using his up special, and they also just do a really good job of edge guarding it. So I think it's honestly just that reason, like the fact that some characters can just do that really like incredibly consistently. I just have to put him in A tier. Next character. This one, Luigi. This character's stupid. I made a video talking about him. Luigi's better than you think. Crazy damage racking capabilities, 0 to death combo. Honestly, the only thing that's holding him back is that there are some matchups where it's hard for him to get in. It's hard for him to get those, like to get his combos started as consistently. And, you know, his recovery is exploitable. If you can get Luigi in a certain position, which there are quite a few characters that can, it's hard for him to come back. And that's just, those are two very big flaws. Corrin. I think Corrin's a bit underrated. Yeah, I think they have a pretty solid combo game. I think they have some underutilized edge guarding setups, like with their down air. They also have like pin. It's obviously not Smash 4 pin, but it's still like a pretty solid option. They have really good kill power. I think the big issue with them is that they get juggled pretty hard. I don't think they have like crazy good options to get out of juggling versus certain characters. They are like combo food. Their recovery is also much more exploitable than people even know. So there's that. Yeah, overall, I don't think they're like not horrible. Me Gunner. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Me Gunner and Samus. I'm just gonna. I don't think they're the same character. Like obviously they're not, but they have a lot of similarities. They're both strong keep away characters. They both have really good ledge trapping capabilities. I think one of the big benefits to Samus though is that they have. I'm pretty sure Samus has the biggest grab range in the game, which is absurd. Yeah, Samus and Dark Samus are tied for the longest grab range, and then second is Min Min. But yeah, grab range is nuts. Samus can also kill with up throw, which I think is also ridiculous. Charge shot with Samus is pretty crazy. They can do charge shot confirms. I don't know if Me Gunner can do charge shot confirms, but I'll say this. If you were to ask me which character I think is better between Gunner and Samus, I would say Samus for sure is the better between the two. But Me Gunner also just is also really good. I think the main issue Gunner has that Samus can kind of avoid is like lack of mobility. I think it's really easy to pin down Gunner and put them in a bad spot, whereas with Samus, I think she has better options to get out of the corner. Like she has bomb. She also has like not just bomb, but she just has better moves to get out of the corner or to get out of being pressured. Like she has up B, which is pretty good. Falcon. Solid A tier, obviously fantastic mobility, good kill power. Personally, I think that the main issue he has is that he's easily juggled. Like he's easily juggled and comboed, and I think in a lot of cases he doesn't really have good answers to an opponent hitting his shield. Like I don't think his out of shield options are that great. Like they don't have to be like incredible because he can just jump away, but I think it does suck because there are certain situations where another character would be able to like, you know, attack an opponent, but in his case he just has to jump away and just reset neutral. The other thing is although they buffed his recovery, I still think his recovery is fairly exploitable. It is harder to tech check him, but it's still there. And then even then, you don't really necessarily have to tech check him. You could just meet him off stage and just edge guard him, depending on the character you are. Rosalina. It's interesting. I think Rosalina's in a pretty unique spot in the meta because I think she does really good against zoners, and I think there are a lot of characters that struggle against zoners. So it's cool that she's one of the few characters that can kind of counteract what they do in a unique way. That being said, I feel like she kind of has a Mewtwo issue where she's just really big. She's really big and light, so she kind of just can get messed up in a lot of situations. She can get shield poked pretty easily in certain spots because of how tall she is. She has like Ice Climber-esque thing with Luma, but it's not the same thing because I don't think she's completely helpless without Luma, but Luma definitely helps her like with kill power and all, just like setups and traps and stuff like that. I think she has really like good edge guarding and edge trapping with Luma, especially because, you know, she just send Luma like near the ledge and then time an attack to two-frame the opponent. Villager, you know, definitely comparable to Isabelle. I would say the big benefit to Villager as to why I have him higher than Isabelle is he just has better kill power. His side and down special, I would say, are more useful, especially side special, because he has a move that kind of helps him get in on the opponent, or at least condition the opponent to act in a certain way, as well as he has ways to mix up his recovery with his side special. And then down special can help him get a stronger kill move with Axe, as well as he has the ability to hit the opponent with the tree, which is really, really good. And of course, just like Isabelle, he has the pocket, so he can counter some characters really hard, like by preventing them from using their moves. Like he can pocket Diddy Banana, Rob Gyro, and he can also pocket Wario Bike. So yeah, same thing as Isabelle, but kind of just has a moveset that makes it easier for him to fight in neutral, as well as just greater kill power. All right, let's get this out of the way. Falco, I tier. There's definitely gonna be people who disagree with this. There are some people who think Falco's top tier or S tier. There's some people that think Falco's B tier, but I think he is in A. I think he's an A. He has really good combo capabilities. He has great edge guarding. I think that there are like a few things that prevent him from being in S tier. The first thing, which I don't think this is as big of an issue, but I do think his neutral isn't as good as it could be, mainly due to the fact that his burst options are very committal compared to other characters. He also doesn't have like super good outshot options against low profiling characters. So what I mean by that is like his Nair is frame 3, but his Nair isn't going to hit a character that low profiles when they do an aerial on a shield. So with even some grounded characters, some like grounded characters can't be punished by neutral air depending on the move they do. The other thing I would say that prevents him from being S tier, I feel like there are certain matchups he struggles in more than other characters, and I would say at certain percents killing can be hard. It's not like definitely not impossible to kill with him, but if you go outside of certain kill confirm windows, it can be really, really hard to too much. Zelda, I could see this character's meta being developed more. They seem kind of dumb. I think Knight's is a good move, especially for like ledge trapping situations. Like if you time Knight right while the opponent's on the ledge, you can cover so many get up options. You might be able to cover everything, honestly. Fireball is pretty good because it forces the opponent to air dodge in certain situations. She has good kill power. Her grab sucks though, or frame data wise her grab sucks, but she's just a walking tank. She just does a lot of damage. I would definitely say her biggest issue is just being juggled. I feel like she does not have good answers to get out of being juggled. And then on top of that, she's not really heavy and she's floaty, so it makes being juggled even worse for her. This one. This is something people might disagree with. I know there's a lot of people who think Bayonetta's worse than this, but I mean, I don't. I feel like she has really good evasive options, if that makes any sense. Like she has really good ways to just make you second guess as to when to hit her disadvantage, because she has so many like resources to stay in the air. So she has that combined with bats within in which time. Like it can be really annoying to deal with her in disadvantage. I would also say she has really good edge guarding and some underrated combo games. I would say if you think Bayonetta's combo game sucks, you should definitely check out Lima and Mistake. Yeah, they make that character look like insane in advantage state. It's nuts. But yeah, that being said, I do think that she does struggle in certain matchups, like matchups where the character can just effectively juggle her or chase her down, even though she can kind of mix up her things incredibly well. Oh, this character, Byleth. A tier. So disclaimer, or not even a disclaimer, but I thought Byleth was A tier before Leo. I'm just throwing it out there. I thought this character was A tier before Leo started popping off with them. I think the big benefit to Byleth is they have really strong kill power and like some really good ways, some really fairly consistent ways to get kills. Like neutral air can combo off stages to forward air. You can also do neutral air like landing there, tech chasing the stuff, and like dash attack and stuff like that. Down to it up air works. You have the Byleth up B shenanigans. Like there's certain spots where Byleth up B's you on the ledge. You either DI off stage and get spiked, or you DI on stage and get combo to like up air, back air. They also have a good Byleth is like one of the hardest characters to ledge trap. They have so many options to avoid getting ledge trapped. And they have the best tether recovery in the game. Like, it's not even close. Like, I don't think any character has a better tether recovery than Byleth, because not only do they have, you know, like a tether that goes really far, but let's say they're in a situation where they can't tether, but they can like hit the stage, they can up B wall jump and then grab the ledge that way. So that's really, really good. The downside to this character though is that they definitely have some matchups that just are bad for them, and it's because of how slow they are. Like if there's a character that can effectively outrange them, it can be hard for them to get in on that opponent because they don't have like the mobility and frame data to just like chase down someone. So they really need to abuse their range. And if they can't do that, then they're screwed. Cloud. I think Cloud's really, really good. Good safe attacks on shield. Like the aerials are really safe on shield. Back air is nuts. I mean, it's like it's -3 and has a good amount of range. They have good edge guarding. Time hazard could be annoying to deal with. We're now a shield option. Honestly, the only reason why I don't have Cloud in S tier is because I feel like their recovery is just exploitable. There's some characters that can just put them in a horrendous spot, and it's really hard for him to recover, even with limit. That's honestly it. If he had like a more consistent way of not getting edge guarded or not getting gimped, I would probably put him in S tier. But yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised if people were to put Cloud in S tier, because I think he's like at the borderline of that area where I could see someone putting him in S tier, but I can also see him being A. That's why I think he's A. Like, it's funny to think about because I feel like at the beginning of Ultimate, people thought this character was broken because of Leo. But yeah, I think Ike is yet another A tier character that Leo just has won a tournament with. Obviously, his Nair is ridiculously good. With the buffs he's gotten, he actually has some pretty good buffs. He has the down tilt buff. I think that was 8.0. So he can do down tilt back air, which gives him a more reliable kill confirm, especially since the Nair kill confirm was kind of nerfed. Like it's still there, but the window is just not as good. He has the Ether. His Ether's like stronger, up special is stronger. Kind of similar to Cloud, honestly, although I won't say I would say he has a similar weakness to Cloud where he can get edge guarded pretty easily. I think on top of that though, landing could be hard for him. Like it could be hard for him to get out of disadvantage. Wii Fit Trainer. I think this character is kind of just forgotten about, honestly. Wii Fit Trainer is probably one of the last characters you think about regarding a tier list, but this character is really good. You know, deep breathing, basically like limit. They have some nasty setups with their side special, the header. Hitbox on header, not the ball itself, but like when they hit the ball, that can spike and kill really early. Of course, every Wii Fit does this. I don't think they should do it, but Wii Fit's really good on the ledge. So there's a lot of Wii Fit players who will just plank you, even though I don't think it's that good of a strategy. But it just shows, like, Wii Fit Trainer in general, one of the things that make them so good is that they have a good disadvantage. And so what I mean by that is it's hard to pin them down. It's hard to keep them in a bad spot where you can consistently just juggle them or ledge trap them. So that's the positive to the character, and they have good damage. I would say their issue though is once you get in on them, it could be hard for them to like get openings on the opponent. So what I mean by that is that they do a really good job if like you're like running at them, but I think it's hard for them to approach. And I also don't think they have crazy good damage output, which kind of hurts them unless they get like a particular like hit. Like I think they need a neutral. They need like an option that can make them juggle the opponent. But if they don't have that, it can be hard for them to get much damage going. This one might trigger some people, but I think Kazuya is A tier currently. He's one of those characters that I could see being an S tier, but I can't confidently say he is, so I don't want to do it. Crazy damage, crazy kill power, crazy combos. The main reason why I put him here is that I don't know how consistently he's going to be able to do that, like how consistently he's going to be able to just win neutral and get those combos he wants. And also, I feel like his disadvantage state is really bad. Recovery is really bad, but yeah. He's one of those characters that he's broken if you get the interaction you want, but I think in a lot of cases it's not realistic that you're going to consistently get the interaction and get the hit you want to just get the kills. But again, I could be wrong. He could definitely be S tier, but I'm going to put him here for now. Lucas. I'm really surprised there aren't more Lucas players, but I feel like it's always been the case with the character, where he's just a character that just has an underdeveloped meta. But I'm gonna keep it short and simple. He has good kill power, stuff like that. He has good throws that can kill. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe his main issue is just lack of damage racking capabilities. Metaknight. So in Metaknight's case, I feel like he's just incredibly precise. Like I think he's really good, but I just think he's far too precise for what you get out of him. I also think there's a lot of top tier matchups where he just doesn't do as well, which is why I put him here. But yeah, I think he's a solid character. Megaman here. I think for Megaman, he can be an incredibly obnoxious character, but I think where he struggles is just damage racking capabilities. Not really. Well, I guess if you get the Metal Blade stuff, then he can do a lot of damage, but aside from that, I don't think he has like crazy good damage racking capabilities. I don't think he has strong options to fight the opponent like up close compared to other zoners. Greninja, really good. Has like Vortex-esque type of combos. He's surprisingly fast. He's like shockingly fast, actually. He's definitely a character I could potentially see being S. But I think the main issue he has is just, even more so than other characters, just does not have good options out of shield, and I think that hurts him a lot. There are some characters that can just put him in a bad spot or like stay close to him and force him into shield, and he has like a slow grab. His out of shield aerials aren't really that good except for back air, but in a lot of cases you're not going to be shielding with your back behind your opponent, and even then back air shield's not that great of an option compared to other characters out of shield options. Let's go on to Yoshi. Yoshi, the last character I'm going to put in A tier, has the unique capability with his double jump armor, good air speed, actually the best air speed in the game. Pretty heavy, good neutral air. Yeah, I feel like where he struggles is characters with disjoints just kind of ruin him, because even though he has like really big hitboxes, they're not crazy disjointed, so swords or like just other disjoints could beat him out. I would say his up special isn't that great of a recovery, so he's really relying on his double jump for recovering, his double jump and air dodge. So if he's put in a spot where the opponent just forces him out of it, then he could be kind of screwed.